I assume we're there. I assume we're there now. I tried to show you a picture of where we are tonight, and let me try and pull that up once more and make sure everybody's with us. This is where we are tonight. It just got dark a little while ago, and this is where we are. Okay, who can guess? Well, I guess I teased it in some of my social media, so everybody knows.
Good thing you're not giving away a prize.
Good thing I'm not giving away a prize. That's our spot at Gamble Rogers Memorial Recreation Area in Florida. We are halfway between St. Augustine and Daytona Beach, and that's the Atlantic Ocean, and it's churning tonight. You should hear it. It is powerful, and
it is awesome.
This is our beachfront spot tonight, and we could not be happier to be here. We're here for a couple of days. And we're down here on now the east coast of Florida, the Atlantic side, working research for our 7-day adventure guide that we'll do on the east coast of Florida. Last week we spent some time on the Gulf Coast doing some research and getting some video there. I don't think we've talked to you since we finished that, did we? I can't remember. Our crazy schedule has been and say, no, we didn't. That's right. We asked everybody at the end of last week, should we stop by Mexico Beach? And we did. Wow, it was something else.
And still pretty leveled.
I mean, leveled down to just the concrete pads, the slabs that these houses were on. We're not sure whether you'll see that video this week or another one. We started doing a video last week on that part of the trip, and it's turned into like an epic video. Probably the first 10 minutes are how we pack this vehicle when we're going to go on a trip and what how we get ready. Many of you ask us to do that, and so I'm thinking that might be the video in and of itself next week, and then we'll do the Gulf Coast the week after, and we'll do the East Coast that we're doing now after that. So that's kind of our video plans here on YouTube for the next few weeks. But meantime, we are enjoying the beach, but we're not very pleased with the Florida weather.
No, we've had, bad weather, but I think it's pretty cold all across the country.
It's what is it? I should look. I think I looked a little while ago. It was 55 degrees.
Now 55 sounds really warm, except the humidity, the dampness in the air, and the wind blowing. It's cold.
Yeah. So,
and I'm a northern girl. I know cold.
Yeah, we do know cold. Back in Michigan, it's 34 degrees, and it's probably 20 degrees warmer here. It's been cloudy, really, since last
it wasn't
Wednesday.
Raining. It didn't rain.
Yeah, no rain. And it's been just kind of a mess. And excuse me. Yes, I still 2 weeks to the day. I still have the remnants of this cold, but it's much better now. But the weather in Florida has been horrible. I mean, cold, rainy. Nevertheless, we have had a good time. Tell us what you do when it's a bad day.
Well, you put on a raincoat and go for a walk. Is what you do.
Yeah, and you sightsee.
Yeah, inside sightseeing, museums and stores.
You
and
weren't
things
inside
like that.
Today. You did it. We did a tour of St. Augustine today.
On a trolley.
On a trolley, which
I
you
finally
recommend?
talked him into doing that. I've been trying to talk him into that for years, and you enjoyed it.
What you know why I like that trolley? I considered it location scouting.
Yeah.
It's a great way to see the top tourist sites in the town.
Right.
The stuff that the town wants everybody to see, and then you can go back and spend as much time or as little time as you want on some of the things they say. So, yeah, I liked it. Plus,
you didn't have to
we
park.
got to get on and off wherever we wanted. I mean, St. Augustine's an amazing city, the oldest city in the U.S.
Easily spend a week. I know my sister and her husband, they came down here for a learning experience where I think they spent about 5-7 days and with a group, and they just learned a whole bunch, but from place to place to place.
Yep, that is.
And I can see how you could do that here.
So anyway, we're at Gamble Rogers State Recreation Area, and again, if you're just tuning in, I got to share my picture. I jumped out we got here just before dark, and I jumped out.
He wouldn't let me buy groceries.
Yeah, we didn't buy groceries, and that's the shot of our campsite here, and we've got this for a little bit of time this week. You can see how rough the Atlantic is, and those rollers are pounding in. And Bo is going to be very happy because there's a dog park and a dog beach right here at this recreation area. So I've heard about this place for years. Our friend Camp Skunk is a frequent visitor here, and boy, he's right. This is a great spot. So we had it for 2 nights. It's very hard to get into this spot. There's only about 67 spots. And when I checked in, I said, is there anything open if I want to extend it? And there was one that we could get for one more night, and we did. So we got 3 nights here. And we'll have some fun. Okay, hey, lots of you are online tonight. We want to greet you all. Let's go through and say hi to Eric Miller and Rhonda, back after a couple of weeks away. Sarah says, thank you for the Fretz RV recommendation. We've heard diesel engines shouldn't run for long periods of time. Does that mean no automatic volt start? No, Sarah, don't listen to the stuff that you read on those some of those armchair engineers. I've talked directly to the folks who make the Sprinter, and you can idle the thing for a while. What they mean is don't make it a habit of running it for 2 or 3 hours on idle every day. It's not going to hurt you to start if you have Volt Start, that system that Road Trek made, or any other system that where the diesel starts up and the engine runs for a little while. It's not going to kill your engine unless you do it every day for long periods of time, and you're not doing that. So don't worry about that. There is Michael Stanley points out a high idle switch with no issue, and you can get that as an option. Ask about that when you do some shopping, but it's a very reliable vehicle. And Sarah says thank you. I love it when you guys in the chat room off to the right start talking among yourselves and answering your own questions. It's really cool. Eileen, traveling to Williamsburg, Virginia, using their SIM card. It's a little, for cell phones in their WineGuard. Thanks to our suggestion. Our suggestion is you can, if you have the WineGuard Connect 2 on your roof, you can swap out whatever carrier SIM card you have, and it will work. And we did that with Verizon in ours, and it worked. It really works great. So lots of you jumping in. Artie Mike says good evening. William Smith in Tyler, Texas. Karen Hicks hearing us loud and clear in Texas. Hey, you guys from Earth Color Portal. Rose says we're finally picking up our Leisure Van 2020 next Saturday. It's been a long 8 months. I've heard of people waiting as long as a year, Rose, so congratulations to you. Jeffrey has been here at Gamble Rogers recreation area. It's camped with the Boy Scouts. No shade, very hot in September. That's why you have an awning on your RV, or if you have a tent. With
the Boy Scouts, they might have had a bunch of tents.
Then you can still put an awning up, A nice park camped there with the Boy Scouts, he says. Hello, everybody from Thousand Trails in Leavenworth. Chris Cowley is on. Hey, Chris, how are you? He hopes everybody's staying warm this weekend. I'm curious how cold it is where everybody is around the country. It's starting to warm up. 55 degrees here on the beach in Florida right now.
But it feels cold.
It's supposed to be up closer to 70 tomorrow, so that's pretty good. John is at his Sticks and Bricks near Philadelphia. Hi to Regina in Toledo. Our friend Maureen Tweedley joins us in Richmond, BC. A lovely sunny evening there. Yeah, it's still light out there. Hi, let's see. This is from somebody with that name. Always look forward to your Sunday night chats. Thank you. We're going to do something a little different on our Sunday night chats. We're going to make them unlisted. Now, if you subscribe to this channel and you click the bell, click that little bell icon, you will get notified immediately when we have a live chat, when we go live. But if you're just a subscriber, it's not going to show up. It's not going to show up unless you've clicked that notification bell. And you can find it if you go and you look, but it's not going to show up in the subscriber videos that we have. We've kind of realized there are the regulars, like you guys who watch us every Sunday night, and then there are the people who are casual subscribers and they aren't interested in an hour-long live Q&A. So we're going to separate that out, and this will be an unlisted video after it goes live. It's still there. You guys can find it. But when you subscribe, click the notification, that little bell. And if you're already a subscriber and you haven't, click that little bell. And that way, when we do go live, you'll get a notification. John Joseph in St. Petersburg, Florida, just across the state from us. John DeGroot has a question. Have the modifications you have made to your leisure travel van had any effect on your warranty coverage? No. Lithium batteries. I have a 10-year warranty on my lithium batteries. New inverter. I have a 10-year warranty on my new inverter. No, it's all great, and it's all been working right. Portia, good evening from Southern
I gotta say,
California.
don't you feel good too having Holland, Michigan leisure
Yeah,
dealership installing and doing a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
different
All my
things?
work is being done now by Holland Motorhome, which is one of the leisure travel van dealers in Holland, Michigan. These guys are great. I know they've installed a number of lithium systems for customers who've added them like we did. We're taking this when we get to Michigan, either next week or the week after. We got to get there before Thanksgiving, and I'm going to have them do the full winterization on it. And we got a couple things to adjust, some doors, and I popped a screw out of our screen door. And the other night, I was not careful. This wind was howling, and we were camped over on the Gulf side. And I opened the door, and the wind caught it, and it pulled that little plunger, a little hydraulic thing that opens and closes the door. So I got to replace that. No big deal on any of that stuff, but I'll have Holland do that for us, and they've been great. 92 degrees in Southern California.
Woo.
Okay, man, that sounds pretty good. Sunday, not Sunday with you and Bo. Both Bo and O. Okay. Well, Bo's here, and he's sleeping right now. He's ready to go for a walk. Mike and Jen, how are you guys doing tonight? And are you still using your surge protector at the campsite? I usually do. I didn't hear. These are pretty new connectors, and I hooked up so quick because it's an electrical hookup here, and I didn't put the surge in line. I think I'll back. Thanks for reminding me. I'll go out and do it as I leave. But it looks pretty good. When I see a new pedestal, I don't worry too much. But in a lot of parks, those pedestals are pretty dicey, and so I always
This looks
usually
like a
put it
step
in.
up as far as price too. They don't look like the real cheap ones.
No, they're real nice. It's a nice pedestal. It's a nice connector. I don't know how often they remodel them, but everything looks really good. Linda asks, if I purchased a Ford Transit on my own and found someone to build it out, how much money do you think I'd save versus buying from an RV dealer all built up? Great question, Linda, and a lot of people do that. So what I would suggest is that you do some searching around. If you look on this channel, I did a video on DIY RVs, and I published it back in January, I believe. I met two people, one on a Ford Transit and one with a Sprinter, who bought their own units and did the upgrade themselves. There's a link in there. And there's also a link on the podcast. I did a podcast interview with a guy who helps in building them out. And they saved about half the retail cost. So if your retail cost was $110,000, they would have gotten theirs for like $60,000. All new, really neat. So look on my list of podcasts, and I don't remember which episode it was because I don't have a master list here, or I can't go in and do some research, but it's there. For the podcast interview on the guy who builds them out. There's a lot of people do it. This is a young guy who really does an amazing job. But before you do that, before you listen to the podcast, go find the video, and then you can see what kind of a job he did. Listen to the story of these two couples that built their own out, and then you'll have a lot of information to really go forward and do some research.
And I want to know what happened to that one couple because they were thinking about moving to China.
Yeah, they were going to move to. Why were they going to move to China?
Work.
Oh yeah. They built this thing out, and then they thought he was getting a job transfer to China. So we got to figure out what's going on. Let's see. What's your longest trip? So far we've traveled 10 days at a time, and now my husband wants to travel for 3 months. Well, that's about our longest trip, and that's probably what we always. It's hard to say what our longest trip is because we'll stop. We have a place down in Florida. We ended up buying a condo because we like the Emerald Coast area so much. We rented out it's kind of like it's a rental. We rent it out in the summertime, and then we stay in the fall and in the winter and use that as our base to travel around. So, and then we have kids, grandkids, and kids all over the country. So we'll go visit somebody there. We'll stay in their driveway. We'll go back to our home in Michigan for a while. So you can stay as long as you want, as long as you're comfortable. And you always give people the permission to
get a room.
Get a room.
Get hotel room. If you want to get a hotel room, you want to spread out a little bit. If you're getting cabin fever in the small space,
We've
We don't do that anymore. It's too hard. You know,
It
we
is.
usually have to make 2 or 3 trips back out to the RV to get what we left behind.
We
The
have
only time that's really tempting is like winter.
winter. Yeah, because winter you can't flush with running water, and you can't shower in the unit because your pipes are all winterized.
And cooking, you know, you got your dirty dishes.
Yeah,
I mean, I know you can do it, but it's a lot of work.
for long periods of time in the winter. That's why, unless you go south, this why we don't use hotels anymore is because everything we have is in here. And besides, Bo is really comfortable. I thought I'd give you a quick picture of Bo. There's Bo tonight. See him? Hey, Bo, say hi to everybody.
Hey, Bo, you sleeping? He's not talking to us.
Bo, did you go to the dog park today? No.
He's not speaking.
You want to go for a walk?
Yeah,
I know you
that
do that.
he wants
Later
to do.
on, you'll do that.
Yeah, he is mad at us because we got here and we had to hook up and we had to fix food, and he has not.
He usually goes for a walk right away. Right
Usually,
when
as soon
first
as we
here.
get to a place, we take him for a walk.
So, and there is a dog beach, we're told, right down the way, and we're going to go and try and find that for him later on. Douglas, I am thinking of getting a Mercedes chassis motorhome. What expected costs will I incur with maintenance? More, because you're dealing with Mercedes-Benz,
Lots more.
Oil changes, a couple $100, for oil and filter and whatever else they do. Now I've got a major. I'm about to turn 20,000 on this by the time I get back to Michigan. So I've got to book the 20,000, and that's like multi-$100. There's no doubt that Mercedes-Benz maintenance is a whole lot more. I did find a local company up in Michigan that can do oil changes for me, and they do a great job. It's just that I'm not there very much. I'm not in Michigan very much. And what else? DEF, you got to get DEF, diesel exhaust fluid.
What, every 5,000?
About every 5,000 miles, and that's 12 to $14, depending on where you buy them. So no doubt about it, you're going to spend more in maintenance. But on the other hand, you're getting a Mercedes-Benz, and while they charge a lot for service, the Sprinter is an incredibly reliable van, and that's pretty good.
And Ford is doing nothing but getting better and better and better every day.
Yeah. When you stop somewhere for a few days, how do you DTE around? I think you mean get around. Do you rent a car? No, we don't. We take this. There's nothing to this. If we're at a park like this where we're plugged into electric and water, I have a quick disconnect in my water. Means I go out to the water and I go boom, and it's undisconnected.
And make sure you get that. How many
Quick
years
disconnect.
did it take for you to buy that?
Oh, I used to hate hooking up to water. Hated it. Because I could never get it tight enough. It always leaked, and then
It was always a
I
crisis.
finally got a quick disconnect, and it's just where was that the first 5 years of my life, of my RV
How about
life?
7?
For 7 years, yeah, I just got it earlier this year. But so all I do is unclick that, and then I just pull out the plug for the electric, and I'm gone. We go on this thing because we have a lot of automatic levelers. I have to take the levelers up. And I bring the slide in because it's like our slide's out right now.
I mean, you can take.
Takes all of about 3.5 minutes.
You can take bikes if you want to take bikes. You can tow a car if you want to.
E-bikes are great. You can tow a car. We've seen a lot of people. We even saw a road trek that was towing a
Jeep.
full-size Jeep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was last week. We met those folks up across the state on the Gulf side.
Right.
And so if you have a B or a C, that can be your vehicle. Now, there's been times like we go down to the Tampa RV show every January. We'll be down there. And often we'll just take an Uber, And if we're in a big city and we want to go down, we'll call Uber. It's so easy. And they drop you off at the restaurants, the shop, and it takes about 12 seconds to get picked up in a big town. You don't have to worry about parking.
Yeah, when you're parking, often you have to pay $20 to park.
Yeah, it's crazy. So for $20 you get door to door, and you don't have to drive and deal with traffic and trying to figure out where you are in an app.
In the dark,
So
a new city.
Now in the places that we camp, which are usually not in and around big cities, we'll take this most places. And now tomorrow, for example, we're here for 3 days. Tomorrow we've got to go to the supermarket. I think it's time to go out to dinner. We treat ourselves to dinner every now and then, and tomorrow night's probably one we'll do. And we'll just unhook and go eat and then come back. I mean, it's that easy. So that's kind of how we do it. Hi from Disney. Tom Kimball must be over by Fort Wilderness there at Disney World.
Disney
Hi.
is so much fun.
We were there last year at this time.
Book a stay at Fort Wilderness. It is worth it.
Yeah, if you've never been to Fort Wilderness, particularly this time of year.
It was fun, yeah, this time of year because the holiday lights, Christmas lights are out, and we didn't do it. A lot of people said to go to the major hotels and look at the lights displayed inside. We didn't do that.
Yeah. Linda, in the Catskills, wanting to learn about the RV lifestyle. My husband died. So sorry to hear that, Linda. It's, I just, our hearts go out to you. But I'm also applauding, Linda, the fact that you're willing to go it alone. And, it's a whole different phase of your life now. But I think your husband would want you to go do this, wouldn't he? And there are so many other women in the same situation as you are, solo female travelers, some widows, some singles. But, you will find this wonderful supportive community, and go for it. There's not a lot to learn. It's pretty simple. And I hope we meet you out there on the road sometime.
And, I think if you're by yourself, if you get the twin beds, you can make one up as a bed and keep it that way all the time and use the other as a sofa.
Yeah. Linda, if you bought a chassis yourself and built it out yourself, would it still be considered an RV for registration and insurance? I think so. I don't know.
So I don't know either. I don't know what regulations there are to call it an RV.
Well, most of these go through kind of like this voluntary certification from the RVIA, the RV Industry Association, but I don't know. I mean, I think the real question is how are you using it? And if you're using it as an RV, then it's an RV. And I think insurance would need to know how you're using it. You can find that out if you go to rvlifestyle.com/RIS. rvlifestyle.com/RIS, and that will take you to a site where you can type in some situations and get a quote. You can get connected with an insurance expert, and they'll tell you about it. No obligation or anything like that, but that's a big help. After my daughter graduates her high school, I want to buy a Class C RV for us both, taking 3.5 years to save for a purchase. Not great credit. Any ideas for us? Truthfully, 3.5 years, it's completely a different lifestyle. This lifestyle changes. The units themselves change so dramatically. Boondocking and camping and solar and all of that is relatively over the last 3.5 years in terms of its surge in popularity. So you are so far away from being able to realize the thing that I can't give you any strong advice except, keep learning all you can. But in 3.5 years, you will have so many options that you don't have today in terms of the RV you buy and of the way you'll use it. So just keep learning and plugging in. And I would not get maybe a little over a year out from when you're ready to pull the trigger, then get serious about finding what kind of an RV you want. Quick advice, meantime, is visit some RV shows and get an idea a little bit about the difference in RVs, trailers and fifth wheels and camper vans and truck campers. A lot of people are looking at those these days. Class B, Class A, Class C motor. You got to know all of that stuff to see what will fit for you. But you got a lot of time. So meantime, just start learning about the lifestyle.
They change about every 6 months. It's major changes.
Oh my gosh, so fast, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Hello from Rochester, New York, going through RV withdrawals. It's that season again. 6 months until spring for Rochester. Yeah, I wonder if you got snow up there right now. Yeah, it's tough. It's that's why we like to camp all year round. We do camp in the winter. In fact, we're going back to Michigan for Thanksgiving with our daughter and her family. And then we're going to hang around through Christmas with our family in Michigan. And then we're going to go up to the
Tequamanon Falls the second weekend in January.
Tequamanon Falls.
July we'd have bugs.
We do. We don't. I mean, we love the UP every month, but we stay away from the bugs. There are no bugs in January in the UP. I talked to the folks at Tequamanon Falls State Park.
And they assure you there's no insects?
There's no insects. They assure me that there's plenty of snow right now. So we want, often we have about 2.5 feet of snow. They plow out the sites that we camp in. And we've camped there in blizzards and ice storms, and we've had a great time. And we camp all the year. So you can camp in the wintertime, just a little different, and you can't camp probably for really long periods of time. Now a trick from semi-trucks. Some cruise control systems, if they are turned on and you press the gas pedal, increase your RPM, then hit set on cruise. I don't know what he's talking about. Some systems use that to hold the idle high. I think he's back to that question we talked about, the idling. On an RV, on a Sprinter, you don't really have to worry about that. So congratulations, Rose. Rose is the one who said very early on that she's got a new RV that she's going to pick up. And I ask everybody about their weather. It's 39 degrees in northern Ohio. Let's see. Bob Summers wants to know what's my call sign. That's my ham radio call sign. Kilo 8 Zulu Radio Hotel. And Bob is KC5 Delta Delta Tango. Ham radio lingo. I really don't use ham radio much anymore. It's just not very practical in an RV. You could do it for hobby stuff if we're in one spot for a little bit, but I do carry a couple of ham radio handy talkies with us, but really don't use it much, not like before. Hey, I pull into a CB shop.
Oh.
It was not a good experience.
No. There were potholes in the driveway that were big enough to...
I mean, humongous. It was a real rundown business. It was the...
All right. First sign was that you shouldn't have gone into the CB shop when it was also a tattoo shop.
Yeah, it was the tattoo shop and CB shop. But I saw their sign on the freeway, and so I pulled in, and I walked in, and there was nobody inside this shop, which was really dirty and messy. But there was somebody in the far back, I think was on a phone call, and he was yelling at somebody on the phone. Every other word was the F-bomb. And I looked, and I looked around the shop, and I'm out of here. I don't need a CB radio that bad. So I gave out of that. Always check wherever you're going. Let's see. Oceanside, California is 83 degrees. Oh, my goodness.
Sounds good.
Kristen is a fellow Michigander. Her husband and she love our RV. Hey, we do too. Mobile Homestead RV hit the bell on us guys already. That means that you are notified whenever we go live or whenever we have a new video, and I thank you for that. That bell, hit that bell if you want to know, because it's going to be harder to find the live stuff after tonight. Jerry has downsized from a 37-foot titanium fiver fifth wheel, which we loved, to a leisure travel van, Unity, same general model as we have. And he says he just spent 3 months in Florida, and what a wonderful, solid, well-built unit. They are. I've been extremely pleased with ours. It's been great. Thanks for sharing our wealth of knowledge. If only you guys knew. It's all an act. We don't know anything. We're just kind of making it up as we go along.
Oh, I'm telling shh, and that means not to bark.
Yeah.
Bo's looking at me like, Mom, I'm not barking.
Yeah. Cost all depends on what you're looking for, such as lithium, solar, propane. Right, that's the build-out cost. Obviously, you can go probably at least half of what the retail of a new one would be. That's what you'll save building your own RV, and that's pretty good. Tammy, I love you guys. I'm going through RV withdrawal. I can't wait till it gets warmer. I'm up in the UP of Michigan at my mom's in Gould City. Wow, I know where Gould City is, up there in the UP, up in Michigan, up above it. So congratulations. It's 36 degrees and freezing rain.
Ooh, that's not good.
I guess we won't complain about the 55 degrees here.
No, freezing. You don't want freezing rain.
How's your awning? Fine. And yours? No, ours is good. Just ours catches in the middle when closing. Horrible noise.
Ooh, that's
we don't
good.
use our awning a lot, but it's been great. It's an automatic awning, and this is unusual. In the other ones we have, it has this automatic wind detection. If it gets real windy, it automatically closes.
And that is wonderful.
Yeah, has it
Because
done that
otherwise, don't leave your awning out at night. Put it
so
down.
many people do that.
Don't go away. If yours doesn't automatically close itself, don't leave it.
You know, I would put it away I put it away every night, even if it's, even if we're in it, because man, that wind can come up quick. We know a lot of people who've lost their awnings, but that automatic thing is a nice feature, but I wouldn't count on it 100%. But yeah, don't leave it out. Rhonda and Russ are in chilly Tampa, right across the state from us. just purchased our first motorhome, a 2018, another leisure travel van family. They have the same one we have, only it's a 2018, the Unity FX. Ours doesn't have those windows in the Murphy bed like yours. Was that
Nobody
a modification?
does. Nobody
She's
does.
talking about those right there.
For some reason, they gave us those, and they're wonderful. And we thought everybody had them. And then it was, where'd you get those windows?
Everybody keeps
And I don't know
asking
why
us.
they did that, but I am so grateful that they did that. I love those windows because I can look out that side of the rig. Otherwise, I would have no windows without going into the cab to see over there. And I can open up the window and let some cross ventilation come in. And we go places and people get out their cameras and they get out their tape measures and they start measuring, and they're going to do it themselves or hire somebody to do it.
But this is our Murphy bed. This is actually the table,
That's the
but I mean it's
table.
part of it. It all comes down, and then of course you'd have the windows.
Right.
But when it's up like this, we have the windows, and you can open the screens, and you get
Like
cross.
two eyes and the
Yeah.
nose.
You get cross
Where's the mouth?
ventilation, and they did that. I think as a Dean tells us from Leisure Travel, they did that as an experiment, but they weren't going to make it standard. So if you want it, tell them you want what the Wendlands have. It's structurally, it's fine. We have no issues with it at all. It looks good. Seeing out
But
those
it's
windows
so
is nice.
functional.
I mean, you get cross ventilation.
And they only did it to ours.
It's not an option. They did that because they just wanted to see what it was like. He said. So you're gonna, if you want one, you're gonna have to ask them. I don't know if they could do it afterwards, but I think they get mad at me. But I mean, they gave it to us, and people see it, so I'll explain it.
And people want that.
Yeah,
And
so
you need that.
yeah, so I don't know if you can do it afterwards or not, but there you go. John Edgar is in Chico, California. Chris says it's 33 degrees near Chicago.
And I bet it's windy.
Nathaniel is in Arkansas. How are you doing, Nathaniel? Was the built-in surge protector offered on your Unity? No, it wasn't. When we bought this at La Mesa RV in Albuquerque, New Mexico, they said, you know, you probably want one of these surge protectors. And I did. And once this year already, it saved me from a real issue at a pedestal at a park up in Michigan. I plugged it in, and bam, it indicated that it was, I forget what it was, some kind of a fault in it. But I'm glad we ended up getting a different site, but I'm delighted to have it. I did not plug it in here at Gamble Rogers because we got in so late and we had to get
And you
ready.
were hurry.
We had to hurry. We had to eat. I had to get
So
that
we got to
picture.
remember not to hurry.
Just my favorite picture of the day. If you're wondering where we are, this is where we are tonight, and it's pitch black out there now. But that is the Atlantic Ocean, and we are camped in Gamble Rogers Memorial Recreation Area, which is halfway between St. Augustine and Daytona Beach, pretty much halfway in that way, down in the middle there. And it's been a cold day out here, 55 degrees with the stiff wind. You can see the Atlantic is really kicking up, but isn't that a gorgeous spot? We've heard for years about Gamble Rogers. Camp Skunk, our friend Camp Skunk, who used to write a lot for our blog, it's one of his favorite places, and we were lucky to get this spot. Most of the time it's booked up year round, and I checked it 2 nights ago and I saw one spot open for 2 nights. I took it, and then when we checked in today, we got another spot just across the way here, just down a little bit
For a third night.
yeah, so it's pretty neat. Is there any maintenance needed on retractable awning, like lubrication, and how often? I don't know.
Have to get out the manual.
I'd have to get out the manual. I've never considered it. I will always ask my dealer when I take it in for some, regular stuff that we do at the dealer. I'll say, hey, do I need to do anything?
And that's why you like to go to a dealer who sells your product so that you can say, what do I need to do?
Yeah. So I don't know if there's any regular maintenance or not. Sounds like it should be. I have not dug out the manual and read all the way through it.
I know the slide needs to be lubricated. The step needs something.
Yeah, I do that. I have some lubrication for the slide. I have some lubrication for the steps. And we do not use WD-40. That's not what you do. That's not a lubricant, really, for this stuff.
It catches dirt, makes it worse.
Tom is in cold Ann Arbor, Michigan, hoping to drive down to Florida for a few months in December after Thanksgiving. How are you coming along on your Florida tour videos package? Yeah, we kind of talked about that before. Actually, we're down here not so much doing videos, although we are doing videos. We will put them out. We're really doing research for 2 of our 7-day adventure guide books. And I don't know if you guys know about our 7-day adventure guides. We have 5 of them out now. One for
the UP.
The UP of Michigan. 7 stops, a 7-day trip that you can do 7 days or a little longer. We have one on Utah, the parks of southern Utah, which is a really great one. I think if you want to see a really cool bunch of cool national parks.
Well, can't go wrong with Utah.
Now, one on Yellowstone National Park.
Can't go wrong Yellowstone.
One on Colorado.
Ooh.
And then the most recent one we did was our guide that we did last summer on the Adirondacks. We're planning 2 new ones that will be out. We hope to get the first one out before Christmas, and that will be one on the west coast of Florida, the Gulf Coast, and then the one we're getting photographs on now is on the east coast of Florida, which will be book number 2. So we're going to do 2 parts on Florida, and we hope to get both those out. Right after, they'll both be available right after the holidays, we hope.
And should I say it was my brilliant idea that we do it this time of year when it wouldn't be too crowded?
Yeah.
But we haven't had the best of weather.
We have not had the best of weather. Weather's been terrible. And that's one of the things that's really frustrating. We're down here trying to shoot video for our YouTube channel, and we're trying to shoot video for the books and get pretty pictures, and the weather's terrible. And it's really
what
hard.
You gonna do?
You see, you stick around a little bit. Now, we had fun last week. We ended up, one of my favorite towns in Florida is Apalachicola. And we had fun there.
It's fun to say that name.
It is fun to say Apalachicola.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some great oysters and learned a lot about oysters, and that was fun. But
don't go there on a Tuesday and Wednesday because
everything, a lot of stuff is closed.
All the sightseeing places are closed.
And that's when we had.
So he got spared because I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Hi from Quebec, 19 degrees there. That's cold. Brr. Here's that video that we talked about earlier on the DIY camper vans. Thank you, Chris, for putting that up. And there's the link. I'll leave it there for a while if you guys want to check it out. Again, it's in the comments. If you want to look at the comments, you can scroll through and click it. But that's the one that we did in January. One's on a Ford Transit and one is on a Sprinter. And it's pretty neat what they did, how they did it. Okay, how did you guys first start RVing? Gosh, we did that years ago.
When we were first married, we got a little travel trailer.
13-foot Shasta.
13-foot, no bathroom, just a little travel trailer. And then we had more kids, and we got a Coleman pop-up camper. And every weekend, your sister and her husband had some property in northern Michigan, and every weekend we'd take off Friday night and take the kids up to the middle of the woods. Kids grew up, and then we went to a tent, which isn't this logical? Trailer, pop-up, tent.
Sleep on the ground.
And then we kind of quit for a while.
Yeah, we kind of quit. The kids got teenagers, and you know what that's like.
And then you go through the stage in life where your parents, like my parents, their health wasn't well, and that's that chapter in life. And
then it'll be 8 years in March. We said, hey, I wanted to I've been a journalist for like 40 years, and I wanted to quote retire. Well, that didn't happen. I thought it did. And I said, well, we'll go back and we'll just kind of travel the country and we'll get a used van, which we did.
I said, we'll try it 1 year.
And that was 8 years ago.
Bought a
this
used
March.
one.
And
I said 1 year.
It took off. Now, a lot of my friends in the media first heard about us, and they shared our links and did stories about us, and people began to follow us. We began to get sponsors, which was great. We picked a great time 8 years ago. Now there's 1 million people trying to do this.
Everybody and
we feel like we're the grandparents now.
Yeah, we are the grandparents.
I mean, every day I hear of 3 or 4 new couples, RV couples, that decide they're going to do this too, and more power to them. It's great. But so we started doing that. We picked up sponsors. We ended up doing a blog, a podcast, a newsletter. Comes out tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed, you can do that. A newsletter, and if you want to know how to subscribe, just put a question there, and we'll let you know. And the YouTube channel. And so that's how it's now become more than a full-time business for us.
It is.
We have I just added it up, 7 people who work with us that at some type of contractual arrangement that help us with all we do. and it's a lot of work. And we just added some new people so we can spend more time doing the content creation instead of running the business part of it. So that's the long and
Otherwise, you're
short.
just running the business part.
Yeah, I mean the business part is a full-time job in itself, so it's pretty good. Chris has put up on the podcast also the link for the podcast on a DIY how to build your own camper van. So look at the video that he put up on the list earlier, and then look at that as well. I'm going to a Freightliner shop in Orlando and saving $700 on servicing his B Plus Sprinter. Freightliners can usually also do service. That's great if you are doing that. Always get an estimate. That's the great. Let's see. I'm looking here. Greg has picked up the 2 videos. Done, Chris. Thank you. Chris is so great. Chris, by the way, is one of those 7. Chris does all of our thumbnails. You see these awesome thumbnails that he creates. He also helps with editing. Chris is working on one we're doing on Yosemite National Park, which will be coming out sometime soon. And Chris is just, we are so blessed to have Chris as part of our team.
He's very talented.
Besides that, he's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. Where are you spending Christmas?
At home.
At home? In Michigan.
In Michigan?
Yeah, which home? We have 3 homes. This is home. Yeah, we'll be in Michigan. And that's a kind of a time to family connect and all of that stuff. Sharon says, we don't usually connect water to make leaving the site easy. It's a lot harder when you have to screw it on, but get those quick releases, Sharon, and it goes.
Yeah, if we're going to be there a while, we connect.
Yeah, we didn't connect the other day.
Right.
It wasn't worth going out and doing it because we were leaving in the morning.
And then I always get, if you're really camped close together in some campground and you don't connect to water, when you run water, it kind of makes the pump sound, and I always am thinking that we might be bothering somebody.
Yeah.
And you always tell me we're not.
No, you can only hear it really in here. It's pretty good.
I know that's what you say, but your hearing isn't very good.
Davis, I gotta take that down book thing. Davis, we bought 2 Rad City bikes. Hey, that's what we have this week. We're able to use your $75 discount code in addition to the Cyber Monday $200 for buying 2 bikes. Wow, you saved some money, and then you got free shipping too. Rad Power Bikes are one of our sponsors on the podcast. We don't make anything if you buy them, but they do give our listeners on the podcast, if you use that code, they're the #1 e-bike maker in the U.S. and they make a great bike. We have 2 of them. So
I wonder if they got a basket or some way to carry
we
things.
forgot to get. I got to order those baskets for your bike.
Yeah,
we've got to. We had an interview with the Rad Power Bikes guys about the popularity of e-bikes just a couple weeks ago on the podcast too. Hey, speaking of the podcast, have I told you guys much about the thing? If you've never listened to our podcast, it comes out every Wednesday. Chris did that, by the way. Isn't that cool? I love that. And we have so many interviews on the podcast, but here's what I want. Do you have people you'd like us to interview? If you do, send us an email, Mike and Jen at rvlifestyle.com, or put it up in the show notes. And if you have a really interesting story that you think our podcast people would like to hear, let me know. We're always looking to connect and do interviews on the podcast, and we always want to ask you guys, who would you like us to talk to next? And we'll do our best
and you have
get
some
them.
great stories out there.
Oh, my goodness. If I sat
My
down...
favorite was that Hurricane Michael.
Oh, yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, went through Hurricane Michael. Yeah, that was scary, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Especially now that we physically saw last week the damage. It's amazing. Hi from Robert and Julia. We're hooked on your shows now. Thank you. Please subscribe. We just would love to have you guys subscribe. If you have not subscribed, please do so. And hit that bell icon. When you hit that bell icon, that means then you'll get notified. For example, these live things, our regular subscribers won't see those. They will only go to those who've asked to be notified when we go live. So do that. This doesn't show up in our subscribe list anymore. When do you see electric RVs replacing diesel? Well, they're all working on it. They're working on it for bragging rights. Mm-hmm. I don't see that happening in as long as I'll be RVing. I don't think that'll happen until we're ready to turn in our RV. I mean, I just don't see it.
What about Europe?
Maybe Europe. I don't know, but I don't see it for 15 years, maybe. Before it becomes commonplace. Until they're not even commonplace in cars yet. Although you see some, certainly more now. But RVers go more than a couple hundred miles, which is the general range of most of those electric RVs, electric cars. So I just don't see that becoming a reality and a viable choice for most RVers for a long time. And I don't want to put years. I said 15 years, maybe 10. It depends on what the government mandates. If whoever gets in charge can change anything around, but I don't see it happening too soon. Lake Havasu City, Arizona, 75 degrees there.
Sounds perfect.
That is awesome. Linda, do you have a suggestion for a newbie like me? I've been watching couples and sprinters and short, long buses. I think I can go smaller. I pack light, small used Airstream. That'd be one you tow. I would look at what they call the short sprinter, or I would look at the Ford Transit. Maybe the Ford Transit, Linda. The leisure travel van Wonder is a really neat unit. That's what if we didn't have this, we'd probably get a Wonder. Someday we still might. We like that twin bed configuration that they have. But the shorter sprinter, which is like 19 feet, is a really neat little unit that you can find a lot of units around. The Ford Transit has a 19-foot version as well. So you don't need anything really long. Look at a Class B, the 19-foot Ford Transit or Sprinter. The Dodge ProMaster also makes a short 19-foot RV, Class B. So you have a lot of choices that you can do. Let's quickly get through some of these. We're running out of time here. The day's going fast. My English accent woke up the local repeaters a few years ago. Oh, this is a ham radio guy who has an English accent and an American link. Are you wearing a leisure van? I am, actually. Thank you, Ron. Yes, I am. It's cold. I just came in from taking out the, we had to clean the grill. We showed a picture on our Instagram account the other day of our grill of us when we were over on the Gulf side cooking hamburgers. I just threw it up saying, this is kind of fun, cooking out. I know a lot of you got snow up there in Michigan. Here we are cooking out, and I showed a picture of the grill, and everybody wanted to know what kind of grill we had. Everybody wanted to know, and then somebody wanted to know one of the hamburgers is larger than the others.
And the larger one was for him.
Well, of course, and so anyway, I just came in just before we went on we had cooked on that grill. The only downside of the grill is it's kind
cleaning it.
You got to clean it afterwards. We just are in the habit of cleaning it afterwards because we camp a lot
like
when we're out west.
Up, and I think it's stinky. And I got in the habit of doing that when we had our road trek because our basement was right under the bed, and you want that clean.
Yeah.
And so
and then we camp a lot when we boondock in bear country, and bears can smell barbecue grills real easy. So we just clean it all the time. And so anyway, I just took it outside and I put this jacket on because it's cold out there. And Jennifer didn't like the t-shirt I'm wearing tonight. She said it didn't look good. I've lost a lot of weight, and I've got it up now high up around my neck, but she said it would look like, what'd you say?
It was down to your navel.
Yeah, the neckline. So anyway, so I threw on this jacket. Yeah, it's there. Are you restricted at all because the length of your RV? I think you said it was 25 feet. Have you found restrictions and stayed in national parks? Never. Not this. Anything bigger than this, probably.
Well, no matter what campground you go to, they want to know how long it is. And sometimes we can get a spot because we're a little bit smaller than the other ones. And oftentimes, like last night, we were able to get a spot only because ours was 25
we were shorter.
Feet.
Yeah, that was up in St. Augustine where we spent last night. And a couple of times, we've camped on tent spots because they're small. This is small enough to get in. And
sometimes you can have like two of these on the same spot.
Yeah.
Two of the bees on one site.
78 degrees. Our buddy Fly Shacker in Santa Rosa, California, north of San Francisco.
That sounds nice.
We missed your videos for a few weeks, but we'll catch up. We always learn something important from you. Best wishes to you both. Thank you so much for that.
Say that you didn't do one last week so they don't look too hard?
Well, I didn't do one last week. That's my challenge because we travel, and we travel sometimes, and then we start shooting video, and we don't know what we're gonna find down the road. So we pull over, and there goes 2 hours, pretty much an hour every time you stop to take video and pictures. And so you get into the campground, it's late, and then you got to make up because you always want to shoot a little bit about the campground. You got to do that the next day. Everything takes longer when you're creating videos.
And then we got a dog.
And then we got a
need
dog.
to go to the dog park.
He's got to get his walk in the morning,
or a walk
in a
on
dog
the beach
park
or someplace.
And,
we got to find a place where he can run free.
So the bottom line is I realized that I finally finished up what we were doing like the night before the normal Thursday video comes up, and I would be rushing through this until 2 in the morning. And I work for myself. I'm not gonna actually I work for you, but I'm not gonna do that to myself and keep you up all night because Jennifer has to check all my videos to make sure I don't make a mistake, which I do all the time. So I didn't do one, and the world didn't end. And now here's the dilemma for this week. We started shooting last week, and what you don't know about our videos is we don't know what the videos are going to be about. We usually start shooting them, and as the trip unfolds and we see stuff, we put it together. Now I know a lot of the other creators, they write scripts out and they shoot to the script, and that's not the way we like to travel. So anyway, we started this video out with us loading the RV. And actually that was your idea, because people are always saying, well, what do you take with you on a trip? Where do you put it? And how much stuff do you get in your refrigerator? So we decided, well, we'll start this with that. And I think the first line.
It was my idea, but I kind of sloppily was loading the RV, like in a hurry, kind of just tossing stuff in.
Well, I started to edit that part this morning, while you were doing laundry.
Yeah.
We stayed at a KOA last night, and that's why we stay at KOAs, because we can use laundry. And that part of the video, of us just loading the video, putting stuff in the refrigerator, the little things I turn on, like the Wi-Fi and all that stuff, it's like 9-10 minutes long already. And I haven't gotten into the trip, Mexico Beach and the damage from the hurricane, our favorite RV park on the Gulf side down there on the Forgotten Coast, Apalachicola. So I'm thinking I'm going to break this video up, and I'd like some feedback from you. I think I'll do like a 10-minute video on how we pack our RV and what we take with us on a short trip. So if you like that, give it some thumbs up. I can see those thumbs up coming. And also type it in text or let me know. And then we'll put the actual stuff we did and the things we saw and the actual trip unfolding. We'll do that in the follow-up video in the week ahead. Otherwise, that video would be 30 minutes long, 25-30 minutes long. And I think that's too long for most people.
I do too.
And it's a lot of work. So anyway, how I got on that question, I don't know. Jennifer Michael, is leisure travel van going to build on the Ford Transit? I don't know. That's a good question. I know Pleasure Way, which is another Canadian RV, is indeed building heavily on the Ford Transit. They introduced some new models and RV shows over the fall, and a lot of the companies are going to the Ford Transit because they can get the chassis easier. I don't know whether Leisure has plans other than they already do build the Wonder on the Ford Transit. So I know they're going to keep doing that. I don't know if they're going to do, I'm assuming you're asking if they're going to do more, but the Wonder is on the Ford Transit chassis, and it is a wonder in and of itself. It's a really cool vehicle. So
I don't know anything, but I would think they would stay with this.
Oh, you're going to stay with the Mercedes.
Mercedes for the B+.
So much room. Here's where we are tonight. Let me just show you.
Bottle of water there.
I don't want to lose my connection. That's the front. Okay, all those ugly wires, that I just put them out of the way. That's where we charge our cell phones at night. It's right next to the bed here, and it doesn't usually look ugly like that. And,
it's so messy back there, Mike.
Huh?
It's messy looking.
It's not messy.
It is messy.
Well, they don't see all that. See, it's all covered. There's Bo still sleeping, and that area. This is a towel, which I used, to wipe off my feet when we came in, but it's not wet here.
Bo's feet.
Yeah, wipe out Bo's feet. And that's the rear lounge area where I will often do our work.
And the hole is where.
Can you see those pictures on the wall? We really love those pictures. I've got a video coming sometime about those pictures, and they have this the pictures are really cool. You can slap them up and they hold on. They don't fall off. So we love the room, and it works out great. But the Ford Transit is very popular. Leisure makes the wonder on the Ford Transit right now. Whether they have plans for other models, I don't know. We really like your 300 days miles a day, and stop at 3:30 in the afternoon. Don't stop too late. Yeah, try and do that when you're doing video, because we left by the time we did laundry and everything. We left the KOA up there at like
well, then we had to go to the dog park.
Quarter to 12.
11:30, quarter to 12.
Then we went to the dog park. We found a real nice dog park there.
And Bo had fun.
And then we decided we would take this tour to get some shots for the book.
I talked him into it.
And I'm not a big tour guy.
It.
I did. I didn't have to drive. I got to look around. The guy gave a fascinating history lesson on St. Augustine, the oldest town in America, founded in 1565.
And the streets being narrow, so the air conditioning effect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they make the streets really narrow.
They did.
They would the air would move faster through. Anyway, we had a great time. So it's hard for us sometimes to keep our own rule, but when we're purely traveling, we do try to keep the 3:30 rules. Stop by 3:30 in the afternoon, or don't drive any more than 330 miles.
And as the chief cook, it gets rather frustrating because I needed to stop at a grocery store. But tomorrow we're going to have to unhook and go to the grocery store.
You guys need a Pacific Northwest book? Yep, we've got one coming. We just have to get out there and finish up a couple of shots that we need. That is on our list. We have a list of about 20 more of these guides that we are in various stages of completion on. Pacific Northwest, we've got a couple we want to do in California. California is going to be a two-parter as well, so lots of them.
That would be a 5-parter.
Yeah. I'm from Vancouver. I just want to ask, is it legal to add or retrofit an RV with additional seat belts? Well, every state has different laws, but many people do retrofit additional seat belts, but they're hard. They're not up to the standard, I think, that the federal government would like, but they're better than none. For example, we could not put any seat belts on this sofa.
On the Murphy bed.
Because this is on a slide. In the back,
the middle seat where all the mess is.
At that one right where you can see that pillow kind of hanging out there, and those seats we could put one in.
One in the
middle. They
middle.
would bolt through the floor, and at the top of it would be through the other end of the bolt would be go through the little cabinet that the generator is in. So people have done that, but you got to get a shop to do them. They don't come that way from the factory. We are in an 82 Coleman pop-up. We tow it with a Subaru. Nice to see another pop-up vet on YouTube. I got to find a picture of that. We love that Coleman pop.
We have got to do that. We go home. Well, it was such a fun time in life with 3 kids and the dog and work. And Friday night you go in the hills and you're trying to park in the woods and get through the woods, and it was always an adventure. 2 kids loved it. 1 kid hated every minute of it.
Did not like it. 2 of our kids are campers. Our third one, no, he barely will stay in a hotel, a resort maybe, but the other 2 of them,
are still camping.
Yeah, and it's pretty neat to see. All right, I've got to get out of here because let's see. I'm looking real quick if there's anything I need to miss.
Need to hit.
And any questions that I'm missing? Let's see. A conscientious citizen shower is more of a necessity in an RV with a limited supply of water. Get wet, turn the faucet off, turn the water back on to rinse. Yep, we call those Navy showers. Maybe that's another word, but Navy showers. Very prudent. Now we took showers in this. We took 4 showers in this, and we had let's see, our gray tank got to 33% after 4 showers, and I take pretty long showers. We don't really rush through our showers. So you can take a lot of showers on this thing, but the best way to do it is lather on and then get wet, lather up, soapy, and then lather off, get out. They call it a Navy shower in places I've heard, and you can take a lot of showers in that way. The other thing that really makes it nice is we have the instant hot water from Truma. And when it's instant hot water, I mean it's instant hot. So you're not turning on a lot of water, wasting it till it gets warm before you can step in. and it looks up great. All right, guys, there's a lot more questions out there that I'm not going to be able to get to tonight. I will kind of go through all of this. It's really, really fun. Um, let's see. Please your way going to make. I think he meant leisure way. Maybe he didn't type it in right. Is it going to make a gas Ford Transit? Well, Ford Transit is just coming out with a gas version for RVs. I don't know. They have not announced that. At least if they have, they haven't told me about it yet, and I don't know. One item you leave out when talking about the Playmaker. I don't know what you mean. Okay, here's the next one. If you have Dish TV at home, you can add the Wally for a bargain of $7 per month, and you can switch it on and off. Yeah. Charge. I'm not sure what your question, but we do have the Dish TV. There, we have the Playmaker.
We have cable.
At home we have cable, but in the RV we have the Playmaker antenna, which I've mounted up on the roof, and we use the little tiny Wally receiver. We just turned it off because we were watching the news tonight as we were having dinner, and it's so nice to have cable TV.
Yeah, I think it's continued right
And the neat thing about it is Dish has a special rate for RVers where you don't have to have an existing subscription, and you can pay monthly, and you can as he says, you can turn it on and off. There he goes. So you can turn it on and off, avoiding the $7 monthly charge for not using it in your RV. But it's a great program. Just go to rvlifestyle.com/dish, and you can see.
And Linda likes the idea of 10 to 15 minute videos.
Okay.
Unless it's at a show, an RV show, or we want you to feel like you were at the show.
So the one Thursday, I'm going to show it to you tonight, but I think our plan is we'll do this one on just loading it up and getting ready to go. You guys should look at 1,000 Trails Camping Pass. I'm not a big fan of 1,000. They're just too big of a park, and you got to pay a whole lot of money, and you can only use it in one region. And we travel from all over the country, so that's why we have never really looked much at them, because we're we go to too many places. I want to see you guys on a folding tadpole recumbent trike. You're never going to see me on a folding recumbent trike bike.
Never say never.
Yeah. Well, he says test ride them when you have a chance. All right.
I bet I would love it.
She would like it. We've joked about that for years.
I would have training wheels on my bike. Except he would be embarrassed.
I would.
I have this fear of falling
off. If we find one, I will try it out. It just doesn't sound very manly to be on a the
recumbent bikes are so good for your back.
On a tricycle. But it would probably. I have tried recumbent bikes, and they're kind of fun. You really down the load. So all right. Love your guides. How about the Southeast, South Carolina? Yep, it's on the list. On the list, and also Great Smoky Mountain. We might combine some of those.
Yeah, love the Smoky Mountains.
North and South Carolina with some of the Smokies turning. That's on the list.
There's so much to see.
Boy, a lot of great questions. How did you start your YouTube channel? I can't even get one view. It started as a fluke, and I didn't really pay attention to it up until a couple of years ago. I needed to embed video into my blog, RV Lifestyle, our blog. I hope you all go to that. Do you read that? Every day we have new content. Please go and read our blog, rvlifestyle.com. And so I had to embed video, so it was just easy to host it on YouTube and then take the embed code and put that right in my blog post. Well, then, this whole idea of YouTube influencers took off, and I looked, and we had 20,000 subscribers, and this was 2.5 years ago, and wow. So we started working more and more toward it. We're at almost 93,000 now. It was my prayer and my dream to get to.
Not a prayer.
Why not? Why can't I pray about that?
You want 100,000? You want that as your Christmas
present? I'm going to put that out on my prayer list. Yeah, I wanted to hit 100,000 by the end of the year.
Present, you want to be 100,000?
I wanted to be at 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And everything was going great. We were going like 100, 150 a day. And then, along with a lot of other YouTubers, it just sort of slowed down the 1st of October.
Kids are back in school.
Well, yeah, that's what everybody says. But, we're still RVing. So, Anyway, subscribe, please, if you haven't. I want to hit that. But so that's kind of how we started, and now it's a huge part of what we do because it's so much fun to do these videos. And
what I enjoy the most is just getting in the rig and taking off and stopping here and there and having the time to explore.
Yeah.
And then share that with you.
Well, listen, I only have 28% of my battery on my new MacBook Pro. That's how much live streaming takes a lot. And I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in again.
And Bo's not speaking to us.
Well, Bo's going to go for a walk, so he's going to be happy. Let us know if you have people we should interview, the podcast, videos you'd like us to do. And be sure, and as I said earlier, hit that bell because this video will not be listed in the normal videos that most subscribers see. And if you hit the notifications, you'll know then when we have a new live chat going up. And we'll also be putting new videos up on Thursday. Tomorrow, the newsletter. Be sure and check that out. If you haven't subscribed, rvlifestyle.com. It's a kind of an insider's guide to everything that's going on. Lots of news of interest to RVers that I don't think you'll find many other places. And it's absolutely free. Just subscribe, rvlifestyle.com. And the podcast on Wednesday and on Thursday, our new video. In the meantime, we're going to go have some fun here at Gamble Rogers State Park. One more last view. Look at this. We're going to go walk around out in the dark now and listen to that surf pounding.
It's pounding out there.
It is pounding out there.
Sounds like Michigan winters.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching us, and we'll see you on another Ask Us Anything next Sunday night. But as we say, lots more coming. The hub for all of our content, rvlifestyle.com. You can't miss that, rvlifestyle.com. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Happy trails.